the Washington Commanders have made a lot of free agency signings. They've been opening up that checkbook and they've been swiping that debit card, man, and they made some really good free agency moves. And what has me really encouraged about the direction that the Commanders are heading is that they didn't just completely go the direction that the Tennessee Titans went when they just said, there's a ton of good players out there. We're just going to get them and overpay and overspend for every single one of them. They took their time to find good players for good values, good bargains. They signed linebacker Frankie Luvu to a 3-year deal for only $36 million. Do you not know how big of a steal that is? Frankie Luvu was the heart and soul of that Panthers defense. You may think it was Brian Burns or Derek Brown, but it really was Frankie Luvu. Every time I turned on the Panthers game, he was making plays. Rather, if it was assisting or bringing down the ball carrier and run support, or getting an interception in pass coverage, he's a jack of all trades linebacker. This is a really underrated free agency signing that I really don't understand why more people are not talking about this move. Because Frankie Luvu is a Pro Bowl caliber player, and I believe that for Washington, you got a hell of a steal signing this dude for, the price that you paid for him. Jeremy Chin, he was teammates with Frankie Luvu in Carolina. He is a defensive back that has a really unique skill set because you can line him up in a variety of different positions. He can play a little bit of linebacker, he can play a little bit of slot, he plays safety as well, but he's better playing in the box than he is playing just outright safety as a coverage guy. He's one of those guys that if you have him in the box, he's good against run support. He can cover and bracket tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. But on the back end, he isn't that great. With a guy like Dan Quinn, you see what he did with that defensive back that they had who was undrafted out of FAMU, Marquise Bell. He was a safety. And they had him playing linebacker for a good duration of last season because of all the injuries that they had to their linebacker room. Jeremy Chin brings a really versatile chess piece that Dan Quinn can use on that Commanders defense. And then you sign Bobby Wagner to a 1-year deal. Listen, I know that he's up there in age, but the dude isn't slowing down. His pass coverage is slowing down at a really alarming rate, but he's not that bad in pass coverage where he's a complete liability. It's just that, man, Bobby, you ain't what you used to be in pass coverage. He still is phenomenal against the run. And if you want to find, a perfect guy to bring in if you're Dan Quinn to help change the culture in that Commanders franchise, Bobby Wagner's the perfect guy to do it. He'll be there for only 1 year, but he's a high-character guy who knows what it takes to win. And these are the kind of people that you need to help change and build a winning culture at a place like Washington. Like Washington was ran into the dirt by Dan Snyder. Toxic workplace environment, complacency on all levels. They don't know how to win. They don't have a lot of winners. That's why you bring in a guy like Bobby Wagner. He's not just there to give you decent linebacker play, but he's also there to help, get the gears turning on what you're trying to build from a culture standpoint if you're Dan Quinn. And of course, he had to bring a couple of Dallas Cowboys defensive linemen with him. Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong. They also went heavy on the offensive line. Tyler Biadasz. You signed Nick Allegretti, really good guard for the Kansas City Chiefs. So Austin Ekeler, Zach Ertz are guys that you look at and you're like, oh man, like they got them too on pretty decent deals. Even though they are old, they're starting to regress. They still can give you some decent moments from time to time that could help you win a game or two. The Commanders, this is a really good free agency period that they had because you still have a ton of cap space to sign veteran guys who may end up having to force themselves to sign cheap deals if they want to play this year. You think about the former safety of the Denver Broncos. I'm trying to think of his name right now. I should know his name, but I don't. But you still have that guy who used to play for the Broncos out there. There are still a lot of great free agents that the Commanders could sign and get for a cheap price than what they would have to pay if they would have signed them in March. You got some really good value deals. Tyler Biadasz, 3 years, 30 mil. Even Nick Allegretti's deal was pretty reasonable. Cleveland Farrell is a really good depth piece. He's a bust, but he's still in the league. He's pretty good against the run. Had some good moments last season with the 49ers. Austin Ekeler could be a good 1-2 punch with Austin Ekeler. Zach Ertz, I don't know if he still has any juice left in the tank completely, but he's good for at least a couple of big plays here and there. The Commanders, if you're a fan of Washington, you should be encouraged with where this team is at right now. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to win this division. Colin Cowherd and a good amount of people believe you can go from worst to first. I still believe there's a lot of room to improve. Still want to see more added to that secondary. Emmanuel Forbes, I don't think that dude can play. Anytime you draft the cornerback in the first round and they don't succeed immediately, they're bust. Think about some of the best cornerbacks in the game. Marshawn Lattimore, first round, instant impact. Denzel Ward, first round, instant impact. Think about the guys who have been bust. Artie Burns, he sucked. Vernon Hargreaves, he sucked right away. Bust. Does it piss you off how much you pay for your monthly phone bill? Why are you getting frustrated when our partner Mint Mobile has plans as low as $15 a month that give you unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network? Stop getting frustrated with how much you spend on your monthly phone bill and go to trymintmobile.com/JT Sports in description and pin comment down below to get access to premium wireless for only $15 a month. That's only $15 a month. Switching to Mint is easy. It only takes 15 minutes to do. If you're pissed off with how much you pay for your monthly phone bill, switch to Mint Mobile today and go to trymintmobile.com/JT Sports in description and pin comment down below to get premium wireless for only $15 a month. Stop getting upset with how much you spend on your monthly phone bill and switch to Mint Mobile today. Damon Arnett, he sucked right away. Bust. Plus, dude was a nut show off the field. The Commanders don't have anything in Emmanuel Forbes. They may just be better off moving him to safety, honestly. Because, after A.J. Brown made that dude cry on the sideline, yeah, it's no coming back from that. No matter how good of a defensive mind Dan Quinn is, it's tough. But Washington, with these free agency moves, you make yourself, a team that should be competitive next season. You should be able to win maybe 6, maybe 8 games max, depending on what you do at quarterback is going to decide ultimately if you can be a playoff team or not, because I definitely do believe that the NFC is weak. And with these free agency moves, they're not moves that bounce out at you, but there are moves that you're going to look back upon a year from now. You're going to say, damn, I should have paid more attention to this because this actually was a really good signing. They got good quality for a good bargain. Meanwhile, Tennessee, they paid a hard bargain for values that we don't really know if they're going to be as good as advertised. So for the Washington Commanders fan base, hang in there. I know you've been dealing with a lot of down years from the treacherous days of Dan Snyder and company, but I think that your time is about to come sooner rather than later.